If you are just beginning a website project, I am going to run you through how I purchase domains and hosting and everything that I need to get started with my website project. If you are a current client of Highly Anticipated and you have been asked to go to NameCheap or another domain registrar to get these things, then this is exactly how you do it. This video is going to be more of the information and what I see and what you need to know as the owner of this website. And then in the complimentary blog post, there will be a step-by-step of, go here and then go there. So I am logged into NameCheap. Creating an account is very simple. I've tried out a number of hosting registers. So GoDaddy, the register part is the part where you register your domain, your www.yourwebsite.com. And the hosting part is where the files are hosted on the internet so that when you go to when a person goes to your website, they can see the design and the information that is on there. So those are two separate things, and that's one part that I get a lot of questions about is, well, I've bought my domain, why do I need hosting? And you need hosting because those files need to be accessible to other people, and the place where those files go is your hosting account. So I'm going to walk you through. My goal is to buy the domain prosgosolo.com, and it's going to be my play domain for doing these tutorials and showing you how, as a professional going solo, you can take ownership and you can do a lot of these things for yourself, or at least understand what a professional is doing for you. So search for domain. Another question I get a lot is, do you recommend .com? And then what if my .com is not available? And the advice that I give is that .com is a brand name. People are just automatically going to assume if you have a website that it ends in .com. There is some negative flack that you might get every time that you have to explain to somebody that you're a .net. One of the things I really wish I had chosen differently is that I'm Highly Anticipated .net. The .com is available out there. It's $2,000 for me to pick it up. I've never really thought that I could balance that $2,000 with my cash flow and really justify that expense, so I haven't done it. But every time I give out my email address or my website, like, there is this nagging feeling of, why am I not a .com? So whatever you need to do to find a .com, and I later bought agencyha.com, and I thought that I was going to switch it over, but I don't own it anymore because highlyanticipated.net just has such a good domain authority, and I'll tell you what that is later. So yeah, .com is a brand name. If you can get a .com, do the .com. So I got Pros Going Solo, and I see that it is available, and I'm going to add that to my cart. And then I'll view the cart. So that is just for the right to use Pros Going Solo for 1 year. And this Who Is card registers your name and everything. So if you wanted privacy, you could have privacy registering it as like your company or something like that. But I can look up any website that's out there on the web, and if they don't have a Who Is card, know exactly who it is registered to. Premium DNS. DNS stands for Domain Name Service. I have never needed to use this. And I'll show you a trick for one thing that you do actually need to use, but I've never used this premium DNS service. All right, they're award-winning hosting. So is one hosting plan better than another? Is GoDaddy not as good as Namecheap. For me, it comes down to the number of outages I've perceived to have, and the cost. So one of the problems that I see with GoDaddy is that, one, it's a lot more expensive for the yearly and the 2-year cost of a hosting plan with GoDaddy. But also, there have been outages. And what an outage looks like on your website is that the visitors will go there and it'll say something to the extent of, error, we cannot contact the host right now. And I have experienced that more with GoDaddy's service than I ever have with Namecheap. Is Namecheap perfect? No. A2 Hosting, that's another one. They do a little bit better. I would never recommend GoDaddy just because of their cost and value. I perceive it as really high cost, very low value. Okay, so if you are located in the United States, you want a USA data center. Now, if most of your clients are out in Europe, then you would want a UK data center. It is because this is where the files to your website will be stored, and the closer it is location to the person who is accessing that website, the sooner that information will be zipped on over to their computer. And loading time is one of the indicators that build up to a higher rank in Google. So if you have a website that takes a really long time to load or doesn't work on slower devices, the people who are viewing that will click away, and that affects how Google sees your website. So yes, USA Data Center, add to cart. And now we're getting a confirmation of everything that we have. We have this hosting plan that's going to host my files. We have the Who Is Guard. I don't really need that. I'm just going to keep it. They give it to you for free. Why not? And then I have the right to use this domain in there. And this is so important. To improve your site, secure it with a positive SSL certificate. What an SSL certificate does, I don't know if I should start with like the mechanics behind it or the reason that you really need it. It protects other people from crashing your site and turning it over into a Viagra commercial or stealing information like email addresses and messages from the people who really want to talk to you and not some hacker. An SSL certificate has become the most important thing for being registered on Google right now. It used to be that if your website wasn't mobile friendly, that Google would downgrade you in their search results. That's how far from the top you are from Google's. But now, if you do not have a positive SSL certificate, you do not have the right to have an HTTPS domain. And what that does is it alerts a person's computer that your website is untrustworthy. And if you've seen, if you've gone to websites and you've seen that warning, it's because they do not have a SSL certificate, or if they do have one, they don't have one registered. Because just because you put it in your cart and you pay for it doesn't mean that it is active. So not only do you need it in your cart and you need to pay for it, but then you need to have it active and register that. And that'll be in another video. But for now, add it to your cart. That is so necessary. And look, for a whole entire year, we have the right to be on prosgosolo.com. We have some anonymity as to who owns it. And I have a place to hold the files in a hosting plan with a US data center. And Google is going to be happier with my site because I have a positive SSL certificate that I will later set up because it doesn't work if you don't set it up. Confirm my order. as far as like email service options and your hosting plan and the different features on there. I've worked with a lot of different ones and I'm still exploring. Like, I just signed up for Amazon Web Services and I'm trying to make sense of that because from what I hear, it's very secure as well as very affordable. So once I have that figured out, you betcha there are going to be videos on how you could do that for your business and the pros and cons of that. If you're worried right now, hey, I have my domain and I have my hosting, but how am I supposed to get that fancy my name at mywebsite.com? I'll show you where to do that in another video. It is absolutely possible. There is no reason that it is required to buy an email hosting plan. And you can do it with what you have just purchased here. And in other videos, I will show you how. There's other considerations for that. A lot of the law firms that I work for, as well as marriage and family counselors, they have some fears about their email security and emails being scanned by, say using a provider like Gmail or G Suite. So that will be in the email instruction video. All right, so I'm in business. I have purchased everything that I need. You are now going to get an email with your receipt and a very important email about your hosting account that if you are working with me, you need to forward that over or give me the information on how to get in there so I can start building your website. So that email is going to look like your hosting plan is now set up. Okay, these first 3 emails are all about my new domain and my new hosting plan. This is what your web designer is going to need to place those files onto your website. And it's a summary of what it is, where it is located, and this is the part cPanel access that we need. And I really encourage you, I've used the NameCheap chat numerous times. They're going to ask you for your customer PIN number, which you can find at the namecheap.com once you log in. They have helped me understand what this domain stuff is, what is this name server stuff, how do I get an SSL certificate, or why isn't this option available, where can I get it? So if use these features, because the NameCheap chat with a live person is wonderful, and sometimes it's a quick question and they can help you save so much time of you searching Google for how to do something and it's just not there. Another thing that I believe is that you should always have ownership of your domain and your hosting plan. And what I mean by that is there are some web developers that will charge a monthly fee for hosting. And I feel like it doesn't give, because that's where the hosting plan is where the files are located, it doesn't give the business owner the ownership that they need, that they have paid for, that they to move around, that flexibility to take those files and move to another host or move to another web designer. And I'm fiercely independent, and I want that for you, and I want you to understand the technology that is really going to be the backbone of your digital marketing endeavors and the time that you spend in it.